In this video, we're going to look and see how you can change the search icon to a search bar on your Shopify store. So you see I have an example here. This is how the store I'm working on previously looked. There was an icon. You click on that search icon. It opened up a search modal with the search bar. You start typing, then you can search for products. But a lot of store owners, and even me myself, find it a lot of times easier to just have that search bar. So instead of the icon, you just have the bar. You can click on that and start typing. So here's the finished product to show what I'm talking about. So instead of an icon here, you just have the bar, you click, you start typing, you can search for a product. So I'm going to show you how to switch from this to this on your Shopify website. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to go to your code files. You want to search for the file header.liquid. This header is referring to this header up here where we're going to be making the changes. And one thing I recommend is to make a backup. Before you do anything else, just make a backup. So you see how I have header-backup.liquid. Whenever you're making any changes, you always want to have a backup in case you make a mistake, something breaks, you accidentally delete something. At least you have a safe copy that you can start from scratch from if needed. So it's always good to have a backup. So the next thing that you're going to do on your file here is you're going to do a search for this. Search-modal__content. Here it is, search-modal__content. This is that search modal that we want to include on our store. Now, you see that it's come up here. When you do the search on your store, you should see something like this. You want to look for the line that says div class equals search-modal_content if settings.input_shadow vertical offset. You want to look for this line. So make sure you're at this line right here, okay? Your next step is I want you to go to the line immediately before and add 2 spaces so that you have some space here because we're going to be doing some adding and deleting. But make sure you do this on your backup file, not on your new file. Do this on your backup file. You want to make sure to do this. Actually, you know what? I take that back. Do this on your new file, not your backup file, because your backup file is going to have all of your old code. So the backup file, you can just leave it alone once you make that backup. Your new file is where you're going to be making these changes. So yes. So on your new file, you're going to be looking for this and then put those 2 spaces. The next thing that you want to do is you want to scroll down a little bit until you see this button here. And then right after that button, you see another div there. That is where you want to, if I look at my new code here, actually, you know what? I take that back. We want to look for a predictive search. So we don't even want it to be that. We don't even want that part to show. We want it predictive search enabled. And if, okay, good. Okay, so take that back. So let's delete this. I'm here. I believe that should be it. Yes. Good. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to look for where it says this close modal, because if you remember before, when you have this search icon here, you open it and then it has a box that comes up. There's another X to close it. We don't want that anymore because now we just have the search bar. So there's no need for an X button. So what you want to do is where you see this, look for this right here. If settings.predictive search_enabled, predictive search, and then and if put 2 spaces there. This space is going to let us know what we should delete. So all I want you to do now is very simple here. Is if you can, and again, this is why it's good to have a backup so you can refer back and forth. You see how it says here, this and if, that's where our and if is right here. I want you to go ahead and add another div at the end. So it's gonna look something like this. There's another div there. Come back up a little bit here, and you have your div here. Okay, so everything's open and closed. So on your new file, look for where it says if section.setting logo position. From here up until this space right here, all this delete. From there to there. Don't delete all this header draw, just from here where it says if section.settings up until this space right here. Delete that. So it'll look something like this. You should be starting, once you see this header draw, and if your next line should be the div class search modal content. This is my backup file, so I'm not going to delete it, but on yours, on your new file, delete that. And then what you want to do is you want to come down here and when you see this button, type button, all this up until the end if, you want to delete that as well. So you come here, you X that out. Your last line should be this end if with the closing div. This div is closing this div up here. Okay, good. So let me put that again, because again, this is my backup file. Once you delete that, it should look something like this. So this is my new file search bar. See, you can see I have this search bar. I've done these changes in the past. Starting from the search modal content, come down all the way until this right here, closed up. You should save that, and it should take you from looking like this to having a search bar here, so a customer can just search for the product. Now, you're gonna have to do some customization with CSS and maybe doing some different positioning to make sure that everything is aligned, but this should take you from that search icon to the actual search bar itself to be able to have customers directly search for a product. It's gonna make the user experience much easier in your store. Make your store easier to use. I know a lot of store owners like having the search bar versus the icon. So let me know if you have any other questions. If you'd like help setting this up on your store, please feel free to reach out. I'll be more than happy to help you set this up on your Shopify website. But once again, I hope this video was helpful. And please feel free to reach out if you have any questions.